If you want to start an agency from absolute start today, no audience, no connections, and no clients, this is the exact roadmap you should follow. Building an agency can seem overwhelming when you're first getting started. There is so much information online, so many different strategies, and so many people telling you what you should do. Because of that, it's easy to feel stuck before you even begin. That's why I wanted to make this video, not to make things more complicated, but to make them simpler. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the exact step-by-step process I would follow if I were starting agency from scratch. We'll cover everything from zero to a profitable agency. Now, before we begin, I want you to understand something important. You do not need to have everything figured out on day one. You don't need a perfect website. You don't need a huge social media following. You don't need a fancy logo or an expensive setup. What you do need is a clear plan and the willingness to take action consistently. Every successful agency started somewhere. At one point, every agency owner had 0 clients, 0 testimonials, and no idea whether things would work out. The difference is that they started, they learned along the way, and they kept moving forward. That's exactly what this roadmap is designed to help you do. So whether you're a complete beginner or someone who's been thinking about starting an agency for a while, this video will give you a clear path to follow. Grab a notebook, stay until the end, and let's build your agency step by step. If you want to build an agency, the first thing you need is a service that you can offer to clients. Some people already have a skill they're working on. For example, web design, video editing, social media management, copywriting, AI automation, or any other valuable service. If you already have a skill, that's a great starting point. What I recommend is organizing that skill into specific service categories. For example, if you're a web designer, instead of offering web design as a broad service, you can break it down into more specific services such as landing page design, e-commerce website design, business website design, portfolio websites, and so on. This helps create a clearer service structure and makes it easier for potential clients to understand exactly what you offer. Now, let's talk about those who are starting completely from scratch. If you don't have a skill yet, and you're confused about what service to offer, I recommend focusing on a service that is in high demand and has a clear business need. The specific service is less important than choosing one and committing to learning it properly. Once you've chosen a service, organize it into categories and create a clear service structure, just as we discussed earlier. There's also another path that many people talk about. Some agency owners don't personally perform the service themselves. Instead, they operate as founders, focusing on client acquisition, sales, and business growth while hiring a team to handle fulfillment. And yes, building an agency this way is absolutely possible. However, even if you plan to hire a team from the beginning, I still believe you should have a basic understanding of the service you're selling. You don't necessarily need to become an expert, but you should understand the fundamentals. This allows you to communicate effectively with clients, manage your team properly, maintain quality standards, and make better business decisions. So before worrying about websites, logos, or anything else, focus on one thing: choosing a service. Because every successful agency starts with a valuable service that solves a real problem for businesses. Now that you've chosen your service, the next step is to present it professionally so that potential clients can find you, understand what you offer, and trust your business. This includes your agency name, website, social media presence, portfolio, and case studies and video. The first thing I recommend is building an agency website. It can be a simple one-page website or a multi-page website. It doesn't really matter in the beginning. What matters is that it clearly presents your agency, your services, and how potential clients can contact you. Your website should make it easy for someone to understand who you help, what problems you solve, and why they should work with you. Alongside your website, create social media profiles for your agency. This helps people find you organically and gives your business a stronger online presence. Platforms like LinkedIn, Instagram, X, or Facebook can all be useful. Another important part of this step is thinking about how you're going to present your services. The goal is not to look like the biggest agency in the world. The goal is to look professional, trustworthy, and clear. This is where portfolios, sample work, case studies, and client results become valuable. They help potential clients understand what you can do and give them confidence in your abilities. And if you eventually want to have a physical office, that's completely optional. Many successful agencies start and grow remotely without an office. At this stage, your focus should be on building a professional presence that represents your agency and makes it easy for clients to trust you and reach out. Because before a client decides to work with you, they first need to understand who you are and what you can do for them. Now, pay close attention because this is probably the most important step in the entire process. You may have chosen your service. You may have built your website, created your social media profiles, and presented your agency professionally. But if you don't know how to get clients, all of that hard work won't lead anywhere. In fact, this is the stage where most agency owners get stuck. They spend weeks building their brand and setting everything up. But when it comes to finding clients, they don't have a clear plan. The reality is simple. Clients don't appear magically. Every client comes from a source. That source could be social media. It could be content marketing. It could be cold outreach. It could be referrals. It could be paid advertising. It could be search engines like Google. But there is always a source. That's why learning client acquisition and digital marketing is so important. If you're building an agency, you need a system that consistently brings potential clients into your business. And if marketing isn't your strength, that's completely fine. You can hire someone to help you with it. But as an agency owner, you should still understand the basics of how clients are acquired and where your leads are coming from. Because at the end of the day, an agency grows when new clients come in. Without clients, there is no revenue. Without revenue, there is no agency. So make sure you have at least one reliable client acquisition channel. Focus on learning it, improving it, and turning it into a repeatable system. And if you'd like to learn more about different client acquisition methods, you can watch my other video where I explain this topic in more detail. Now let's say your marketing is working and leads are coming into your agency. The first step is understanding whether the lead is actually a good fit for your service. You need to understand their business, goals, budget, and the problem they're trying to solve. If it's a good fit, you can get on a call, discuss the project, agree on pricing and scope, and close the deal. Once the client signs and makes the payment, the fulfillment process begins. This is where you collect everything you need from the client, such as project requirements, business information, brand assets, and access to relevant platforms. After that, you deliver the service. Whether it's web design, AI automation, marketing, video editing, or any other service, the process is generally the same. First, collect the necessary information. Then, execute the work according to the agreed scope. Finally, deliver the result to the client. Throughout the project, communication is important. Keep the client updated, answer their questions, and make sure they know what stage the project is in. Once the work is completed and the client is satisfied, collect a testimonial, review, or case study. These assets make it easier to build trust with future clients and strengthen your agency's reputation. As you continue working with more clients, you'll start noticing that many tasks are repeated. The same onboarding process, the same client communication, the same delivery workflow. This is where scaling begins. Instead of handling everything manually, you start creating systems, templates, and processes that make your agency more efficient. Over time, you can begin hiring freelancers, contractors, or team members to help with fulfillment while you focus on growth and acquiring more clients. In simple terms, the process looks like this: get client, deliver results, build systems, grow your team, repeat. The more consistently you follow this process, the more your agency can grow over time. And that's the complete roadmap I would follow if I were building an agency from scratch today. I hope this video gave you a clear understanding of the process and helped simplify what can often feel like an overwhelming journey. Thank you for watching. And if you found this video helpful, consider subscribing for more content on building, marketing, and growing your business.